Just like I like to take care of my real garden and my real plants, I like to give them love and nourish them. We should really do that also with our minds. My favorite way to do this with my mind is by reading. I'm going to be sharing with you a book haul I got while I repot my plants. Maybe you'll be interested in some books to help nourish your mental garden. First book I'm sharing is On Forgiveness by Richard Holloway. In this inspiring work, Richard Holloway tackles the theme of forgiveness. One of the most important books on this essential topic, On Forgiveness draws on the great philosophers and writers such as Friedrich Nietzsche, Jacques Derrida, and Nelson Mandela. Both timely and a timeless modern classic, On Forgiveness is a pertinent and fascinating discourse on how forgiveness works, where it came from, and the need to embrace it is greater than ever if we are to free ourselves from the binds of the past. Is The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Doing well with money isn't necessarily what you know. it's about how you behave. And behavior is hard to teach even to really smart people. Money, investing, personal finance, and business decisions is typically taught as a math-based field where data and formulas tell us exactly what to do. But in the real world, where people don't make financial decisions on a spreadsheet, they make them at the dinner table or in a meeting room where personal history, your own unique view of the world, ego, pride, marketing, and odd incentives are scrambled together. In The Psychology of Money, award-winning author Morgan Housel shares 19 short stories exploring the strange ways people think about money and teaches you how to make some better sense of one's life's most important topics. This next book is Utopia. And Utopia, I was really interested in reading this. This is a very old book that has lots of great ideas on what kind of world we should be living in. Discover the enduring mystery of Utopia. Since its original publication 500 years ago, Utopia has been embraced by its readers as a timeless exploration of topics like money, property, crime, education, religious tolerance, euthanasia, and feminism. Consisting of a traveler's account of a newly discovered island in which the inhabitants share a common culture and way of life, Utopia stood as a stark contrast to the poverty, crime, and corruption that characterized much of the 16th century Europe. For centuries, concepts of author Sir Thomas More shares in Utopia have resonated with people around the globe. Next book was suggested to me by Amazon Prime, and Amazon, I feel like, has a pretty good understanding of what kind of books I like to buy. This one is called Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Forer. While researching an article on the USA Memory Championships, Joshua Forer was equally dubious and intrigued by one of the contestants' claim that even an average memory like Forer's, if used properly, could win the event. And after a year of memory training, he found himself in the finals of that same championship. Under the tutelage of mental athletes, Forer learns ancient techniques once employed by Cicero to memorize his speeches by medieval scholars to memorize entire books. Moonwalking with Einstein draws on cutting-edge research, a surprising history of memory, and vulnerable tricks of the mentalist trade to transform our understanding of remembering. Through this extraordinary odyssey, we acquire a profound appreciation of gifts we all possess but that often slip our minds. Erasure is a novel by Percival Everett. Thelonious Monk Ellison's writing career has bottomed out. His latest manuscript has been rejected by 17 publishers, which stings all the more because his previous novels have been critically acclaimed. He seethes on the sidelines of the literary establishment as he watches the meteoric success of Weeze Lives in the Ghetto, a first novel by a woman who once visited some relatives in Harlem for a couple of days. Meanwhile, Monk struggles with the real family tragedies. His aged mother is fast succumbing to Alzheimer's, and he still grapples with the reverberations of his father's suicide 7 years before. In his rage and despair, Monk dashes off a novel meant to be an indictment of Juanita May Jenkins' bestseller. He doesn't intend for My pathology to be published, let alone taken seriously, but it is. Under the pseudonym Stag R. Lee, it soon becomes the next big thing. How Monk deals with the personal and professional fallout galvanizes this audacious, hysterical, and quietly devastating novel. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Between life and death, there is a library. Up until now, Nora Seed's life has been full of misery and regret. She feels she has been let down by everyone. She feels she has let down everyone, including herself. But things are about to change. When she finds herself in the Midnight Library, she has a chance to make things right. The books in the Midnight Library enable Nora to live as if she has done things differently. Each one contains a different life, a possible world in which she has made different choices that played out in an infinite number of ways, affecting everyone she knew as well as many people she never met. With the help of an old friend, she can now undo every decision she regrets as she tries to work out her perfect life. But things aren't always what she'd imagined they'd be, and soon her choices place the library and herself in extreme danger. Before time runs out, she must answer the ultimate question: what is the best way to live? Caucasia, a novel by Danzy Senna. Bertie and Cole are the daughters of a black father and a white mother, intellectuals and activists in the civil rights movement in the 1970s Boston. The sisters are so close that they speak their own language, yet Bertie, with her light skin and straight hair, is often mistaken for white, while Cole is dark enough to fit in with other kids at school. Despite their differences, Cole is Bertie's confidant, her protector, the mirror by which she understands herself. Then their parents' marriage collapses. One night, Bertie catches her father and his new girlfriend drive away with Cole. Soon, Bertie and her mother are on the road as well, drifting across the country in search for a new home. But for Bertie, home will always be with Cole. Haunted by the loss of her sister, she sets out in a desperate search for the family that left her behind. The extraordinary national bestseller that launched Danzy Senna's literary career, Caucasia, is a once powerful coming-of-age story and a groundbreaking work on identity and race in America. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Reclusive Hollywood icon Evelyn Hugo is finally ready to tell the truth about her glamorous and scandalous life. But when she chooses unknown magazine reporter Monique Grant to write her story, no one is more astounded than Monique herself. Determined to use this opportunity to jumpstart her career, Monique listens in fascinations. From making her way to Los Angeles in the 1950s and leaving show business in the 80s, and of course the Seven Husbands along the way. Evelyn unspools a tale of ruthless ambition, unexpected friendships, and a great forbidden love. But as Evelyn's story nears its conclusion, it becomes clearer that her life intersects with Monique's own in tragic and irreversible ways. Written with Reed's signature talent for creating complex, likable characters, this is a mesmerizing journey through a splendor of old Hollywood into the sobering realities of present day as two women struggle with what it means and what it costs to face the truth.